Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. It's Vera here as always, and as usual. On today's episode, I'll be sitting down with the man or the brains behind the Ijele sculpture. A little backstory: if you're visiting Enugu recently, or if you visit Enugu recently, one thing will stand out for you is the beautification project being carried out by the governor of Enugu State, Barrister Peter Mba. What that means is that there is a lot of demolition, there's a lot of reconstruction, there's a lot of statues being installed at different places. But the most famous of the recent sculptures is the Ijele Masquerade that was installed at Onwasata roundabout right here in Enugu city. And the day it was installed, it was like a carnival. The people came out in numbers to celebrate this very gigantic sculpture, and it was installed by the man in whose gallery I am today. I'm talking about no other person than Mr. Sunday Chukwu. I am here to discuss with him, to meet him, to pick his brains as to how he was able to do all of this, what inspired him, what was the creation process or the creative process like, and how he was even able to take this statue from his studio right here to that place, because currently that statue holds the world record as the tallest or the longest, it's actually the tallest masquerade sculpture in the whole wide world right here in Enugu. It was done by this man. So guys, without further ado, join me as I go into the studio to meet with him, and let's have a wonderful conversation. Let's go. I know I'm very familiar with you, but for the sake of my subscribers and audience who do not know you, can we get to meet you, your name, what you do, and all that? A little introduction.
My name is Sunday Chukwu. I'm a sculptor, a visual artist. As a studio artist, apparently in my space doing my stuff. I've been a sculptor for the past 9 years.
Okay.
Professionally.
Okay.
Graduated in 2015, 2016.
Okay.
And I've been practicing even while in school.
So what can you say inspires your work generally?
Number one source of inspiration is God. And the second of all is I'm this person that when I'm walking on the road, my ears are down to see how people behave, see human behaviors, actions, and most importantly, my immediate environment, the Igbo society. Because as you know, or as I keep saying to everybody, my work centers around Igbo philosophy and Igbo cosmology. I'm Igbo, and I'm trying my best to bring back the lost glory of we as a very creative people in the visual arts too, even before the advent of civilization and present-day westernization. So we had very interesting, guild of artists, sculptors who were not just creating art for art's sake, were not just creating art for aesthetic purposes, but they were creating art to pass on philosophies, wisdom to generations yet unborn, all wrapped up in ideograms like NCBD, proverbial expressions, proverbs, and all that. So I try my best to get both the performing art, the visual art, the literary art, and intertwine them together and come up with a visible piece that is edible, that the eyes can enjoy.
All right, looking around and seeing most of your works, one would notice that a lot of them are female, sort of female themed or female inspired. Is there any reason for that?
No, women are a very powerful set of people, and it takes a strong man to know that women are very powerful. My mom was very rich. She's passed on. But she took good care of us. But there was never a time you say, "Oh, I'm this, I'm that." She took care of everybody. But in recent time, if any woman is doing something, but you don't have to do that, because inside you're a very powerful person already. You understand what I mean?
All right. So is it safe to say that some of your work that are feminine in nature are sort of a way of you paying tribute to your mom?
Yeah, I have a piece titled Implication.
Okay.
Implication. One is very powerful. Sometimes when I see my wife and I see the way she handles things, these guys are really powerful.
Let's bring it down to your latest work, the Ijele Masquerade. And you'd agree with me that Ijele holds a very deep cultural significance to the Igbo people and Igbo land as a whole. So, what inspired you to create that statue?
Yeah, when the people said that they want to make a masquerade, and I said the best thing you should do.
When you said the people, which people?
The clients,
Okay.
The clients say, want to make a masquerade. I said the best thing you should do is to create an Ijele masquerade. The Ijele masquerade, first of all, what attracted me to Ijele masquerade, it is the humongous nature of it. So when they said, just come up with something. So it was an opportunity for me to create another humongous piece that would pass the works I have done before, because I've done 21 feet, I've done 14 feet, I've done 20 feet. I was going to go for 30 feet. And
how large is the Ijele?
30 feet. In time past, the Ijele masquerades and other masquerades and other festivals were done to really make the people excited. If the Ijele comes out in its majesty and its colorful nature, everybody tends to forget whatsoever troubles. Say, this is beautiful. It dances, the music makers, the akurecheni, it goes, make the people excited. They say, women don't come close. But does not take the fact that women can stay from a distance and they quiet, So at that point, the drums will be rolling, people will be dancing. There is this joy.
It just carries everyone along.
Yeah, just carries everyone. People are excited. There's no way you see this touring masquerade and you not raise the gaze and say, everybody's excited. So the masquerade is like a messenger between the ancestors and the present time. Hence, it carries all those things, all those ancestors and all those. It embodies the Igbo, philosophy and Igbo cosmology.
Interesting. So let's talk about you delving into it. Can you take us through the process of designing and building this statue? Let's say, how long did it take you and what were the challenges you faced?
Yeah, the good thing that happened while I was creating that masquerade is that there was no short of, I didn't have a creative block.
Okay.
And there was no short flow of ideas. One thing I like to say here is I paid a whole lot of attention to the structure of the work than even the aesthetic part that the whole world is seeing. So I have had comments like, is it going to, people think, sometimes somebody came and said, is this like a cloth? So people think everything built is 100% steel and metals.
Okay.
And very quality materials. There was no cutting of corners because I was not just doing it for people to see, I was also creating an impression on the sands of time. And I knew that I have kids that would someday see what their dad have done. And I don't want to do something that would fail. So I walked through creating a very interesting structure, very fantastic steel materials holding the works, beams, angle bars, like that, Then finishing at some point, I had some interaction where I had some dreams on the 4th of September. I dreamt where I had some foil Ijele masquerades dancing in front of me.
How many?
4 of them.
Okay.
So I was just like in an open theater. So I was not going to create something that if some people see, they will be, it looks like it, So I was going to do something that
speaks
when everybody see, because you have Ijele from different nook and crannies of southeastern Nigeria. Mm-hmm. You have from Anambra, you have from Imo, but I'm going to create a unifying Ijele that if anybody sees, they say this is Ijele, and there will not be. So in that dream, I saw different ideograms, ECBD symbol. So in the Ijele Masquerade, I've brought back some of these ideograms that are faded away because we're now using alphabets and numbers. So I brought it. I put them in the Masquerade so that it will be like a point where generations set on will ask, what is this sign? And they go back, and say, this is what this sign is meant to be.
Yeah. Talking about people seeing the world, there's been some sort of comment from people, just like every other thing, there are praises and there are criticism and all that. So a lot of people are saying things about its durability and longevity, that doubting, whether this work would stand the test of time.
Very interesting. Criticism are very good. And I'm very grateful to every critic who has raised this thing.
Yeah.
So we've come up with a very interesting piece. And if I can't dance the dance, I won't come out for it. I'm this person that holds my integrity very, very dear. I hold my integrity is very dear to me. I'm a young sculptor and I have a whole lot of things to do in years to come.
Yeah,
ahead of me. So it will not be said that I did what failed. Hence, I mentioned earlier that the quality of materials I used to create this work. Creating this work was not even about the value that was given to me in monetary terms. Creating the work was more of the impression I'm going to make. And I have, in my thoughts, the work would exceed 100 years. Time is everything. The normal masquerade, the Ijele masquerade that people carry around, you can't carry it for more than one day, no matter how powerful you are. Today is the 21st. I installed that work on the 5th of November. So that work has stayed there for 16 days and is still carrying the masquerade. Has it fallen yet?
Not yet.
And it won't fall.
I drove past there yesterday.
Okay.
So when we talk about cultural relevance of Ijele, you talked about how Ijele is a masquerade that brings happiness to people. And we saw that on the day it was installed. There was like a mass celebration. People were excited and all that. However, still talking about public opinions, some people felt that, installing the Ijele there, in a public space in Enugu is a way of taking the state to the, taking to the pagan side of the world.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're like, Ijele is a masquerade, it's a traditional thing, it's a pagan spirit or deity and all that, and Enugu seems to be like a Christian state, but that is like idol worshiping or idolatry. What do you
let me tell you. I'm a Christian and I don't boast of what quality of Christianity I belong to. I didn't consult anybody to commence this piece. I didn't do any sacrifice. It was purely aesthetic. We have all these kind of monuments in India, you have it in France, you have it. So if we tell our own stories with these public monuments, we will have the world come to meet with us and enjoy tourism. In other climes, we could have the same Ijele masquerade and it will be in an enclosed place. And when you travel to Britain or you travel to France or you travel to America, they say, oh, have you seen the Ijele masquerade before? Come and see. Okay, going to pay $20 to go in there and see the Ijele masquerade. Now, Igbo people that were not given birth to in Nigeria have seen the Ijele masquerade online, but they want to have a feel of what it is. Then they will be forced to pay money. And here you have His Excellency Dr. Peter Mba, who in his feeling that you make Enugu a tourist place, say, okay, let's come up with things that would attract the world. Whether you like it or not, when the Ijele masquerade came out, everybody was thrilled. I got calls from every nook and crannies of the world. So it should not be seen as anything pagan because the person that created this, if I've told you I'm an atheist or I do another kind of, you say, oh, I'm a Christian. However, I know that there is a place for my belief in God, and I believe every wisdom and power comes from God. Who am I to create such a magnificent piece without wisdom of without wisdom of God. I believe that akalaka that he's saying, God has given me to me, and I'm exhibiting it to his own glory. When we're going to take the masquerade out, because the structure was going to continue from the leg. There's some steel pole, very powerful, thick steel pole that ran from the left foot up. There's going to be holding the other cap coming on it. However, some of my assistants said, "Oh God, this no go past this hour because of wire. There's a high tension wire." I said, so what do we do? He said, cut. I said, if we cut it, the pole will lose its strength. He said, no, God will weld it when we get to the site. I said, okay. At night, before that day, we're thinking, I said, okay, let's cut. So we cut the pipe. Very thick, very heavy. We had to get like 2 persons to climb up to hold it and throw it down. So on that day, when the crane and the truck came, they picked it up and dropped it. Oh, I told my wife, I said, wow, this is big. She said, how would he get out of it? Well, we're like, I was not going to bring that concern to the people that were carrying the thing, because if I bring the concern, it would demoralize them.
Yeah.
So I wanted everything to play as if they play the show.
Yes.
So when
they learn on the job.
Yeah, they are veterans, they know what they're doing. So when we got to the gate, we were faced with this. What? We couldn't look at high tension. We couldn't raise the thing up. So
despite cutting it.
And I was imagining we didn't cut it. All the area, people from everybody were giving input. Oh God, do this. At the time, the crane had to bring the work down, so that they wanted to drag the work because of the valley nature of that gate area. They tried. I said, no, we're going to destroy this ground. I don't want us to do so, because we're taking this out. Some people say, okay, let's go and get long bamboos. So we got very long bamboo, 20 feet, 25 foot. About this guy gave that suggestion. So at the time, we raised some of the wires up. But when the thing is coming out, the other tip of it would want to touch the thing. And something within me said, Sunday, if anything happens to anybody here now, because if there is any touch, the work is all metal and all steel. If there's any touch between the high tension and that thing, there will be a fire explosion. And the next thing is, the boy did Ijele. Shows you the other metaphysical aspect of the Ijele. It's a powerful masquerade, and it won't just come out like that. Yeah. So they were seeing,
that's to be a little
there has to be some dramatic and all that. So my joy is that we finished that work. Blood went into it, not sacrificial blood from cuts of wounds, sweat and everything, but the work traveled from this place to, we're seeing wires on the road, we raised the bamboo, it passed and all that. So it's very, very grand.
But then, I know we are concluding, but was there at any point where you felt like you wanted to give up?
No, it has never been. I don't, my dear, I've not.
There are works you accept, and excitedly you take them, but getting into it, you're like,
no. If you give me a work to do, I will look at it holistically. If I can't do it, I'll tell you I can't do it. But you see me, I don't know how to feel, and I've never felt, and I won't feel. So it has been, there is this school of thoughts I belong to, that I don't believe in all these, is it going to be possible? In fact, if you tell me it's not going to be possible, then I'll challenge the God who has called me into it and say, is that what you say? There is no pillars. You created the sky. Nobody is seeing where there is a pillar. You created rivers. You created the star. Look at the sun. Look at everything. You must have given me. Don't worry. You would have given me the power to do so. We're created in the image and likeness of God. So some say, ye are gods. So that means God has given me power to do anything.
Thank you so much. It's such a lovely time spending with you. I mean, it's always a lovely time to spend with you, but for today's interview, thank you so much. And we look forward to see more of your works and inspiring more artists to come and generations to appreciate our culture, which you've done through Ijele. And we hope to see more works like that in the future.
What I'm going to tell everybody is that thing that is in your mind that you want to achieve, don't give up. You can stay, you can cry. It's painful, but don't give up. Say it, you want it. Keep professing it in your quiet time. That's what people would say as prayers. Oh, I want to go and pray, because you keep repeating it yourself. Now, the God that is behind you will make things work for you. So there's nothing that is impossible. So do not fear. Just put it in your mind. I know that someday I'm going to be opportunity to meet with you. I don't know how, but
here we are.
Yeah, but here we are. So better days are ahead of us.
I believe
where
so.
we would enjoy ourselves, do a lot of great things together. But the thing is, it has to be considered in the mind. Opportunity must find you working. Thank you.